Hundreds of thousands of people from ethnic minorities, including the Uyghur community, are being forced by the Chinese authorities to pick cotton in the far western region of Xinjiang. That's according to information seen by the BBC. The evidence suggests that China's cotton crop, which makes up a fifth of the world's total supply, could be far more dependent on forced labour than was previously thought. Now, over the past few years, more than 1 million Uyghurs are thought to have been detained in so-called re-education camps. China denies claims of torture and carrying out forced sterilisations and abortions. In response to the latest evidence, the Chinese government has told the BBC that claims of forced labour are entirely fabricated. Our China correspondent, John Sudworth, has this special investigation from Xinjiang, a region where foreign journalists are followed very closely and monitored.
Xinjiang makes mountains of cotton, a fifth of the world's total. And our investigation will only heighten concerns about this product, although the evidence wasn't easy to find.
And they're waiting for us.
We're turned back at checkpoints, stopped from filming, questioned and followed.
Further behind is also following us.
This is one site we're trying to get to, a giant re-education camp. But more recently, something else has been built next door, a textile factory. Days after its completion, a large group of people can be seen being moved between the camp and the factory.
Wow, and this is the factory here. It's extraordinary.
From the ground, it's clear the factory and accommodation blocks are all now one single site, plastered with Communist Party slogans. But when we get out to film,
we are entitled to film in public anywhere in China.
China says these places are simply about creating jobs. But everywhere we go,
there's this extraordinary effort to stop us documenting any of it.
In Xinjiang, a whole culture is under suspicion. More than 1 million Uyghurs and other traditionally Muslim minorities are thought to have been swept into the camps, viewed by China as potential Islamist separatists. But each year, more than 2 million others are being gathered for something else. Giant new factories and textile mills, hundreds of them, where they face strict controls and political indoctrination. The first thing our workers have to learn is to love the Communist Party, this factory boss says. But now the BBC has seen evidence that shows Uyghurs are also being sent en masse into the cotton fields.
One day my family will disappear from this world.
Mahmoud, not his real name, left Xinjiang 3 years ago, but his family still lives there.
And my mom told me she's picking the cotton for the government officers. It's like our duty to do that work. They will just go because they are so afraid of being taken to jail or somewhere else.
Newly uncovered documents show the scale. 150,000 pickers sent to one area, almost as many again organised for another. They're given ideological education, and the lazy, the authorities say, are being taught the glories of work.
The evidence suggests that the real intention here in Xinjiang is the dismantling of an entire culture and its rebuilding through the total control of people's families, their faith, their thoughts, and on a massive scale across the fields and factories of this region in the work that they do.
In a written statement, the Chinese government said workers from all ethnic groups in Xinjiang choose their jobs according to free will and sign contracts in accordance with the law. It said accusations of forced labour were completely fabricated. But the researcher who unearthed the documents believes they have major implications for the global fashion industry.
For the first time, we not only have evidence of Uyghur forced labour in manufacturing, in garment making, we have evidence of a massive state-sponsored forced labour scheme involving hundreds of thousands, over 500,000 of ethnic minorities, and it's directly about the picking of cotton in terms of global supply chains, now that's a game changer.
As we leave Xinjiang, we pass this prison camp complex, thought to contain multiple factory buildings. It's the first independent footage of this truly colossal site, a final chilling reminder that here, mass incarceration and mass labour are closely connected. John Sudworth, BBC News, Xinjiang.